Hi everyone, not going to be too long today. I'm just going to do a quick update. Um, I've got two videos coming up, major videos. They're about 45 minutes long each, really, around about that. Um, I don't know when I'm going to release them yet. I've got a release a lot of storage though, so I'm going to have to upload some of my videos to the Google Drive, which I was kind of trying to avoid, but it looks like I'm going to have to. Um, But yeah, really, just to let you know, so I don't know, like any of you care anyway or bothered, but just let you know I'm okay. Um, things are starting to get quite weird now. Uh, things that people have been saying for a while are starting to come true. Uh, it's weird how Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram all went down at the same time, right? Very, very strange. Um, Very strange that you have that supposed whistleblower coming out about Facebook. However, I will say this, not in the way that you think it is. It's weird because you can tell now that that just confirms that it's all planned and orchestrated. Whistleblower comes out. It's all part of the stage, all part of the world stage. Whistleblower comes out, tries to expose Facebook, says all this shit and all this, that, and the other, saying they can't be trusted. And then one day later, Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram all go down at the exact same time. It's all orchestrated, it's all planned, and that just proves it because there is no coincidences. People believe there's coincidences, but there isn't. So yeah, it was all orchestrated that, and I think it was part of an exercise. Maybe it was the Cyber Polygon beta test that they're doing. They did it with Google earlier this year, just after the Cyber Polygon exercise took place in July, I think it was. Google went down, didn't it? And then now the first October surprise was Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram went down. So that's our first one. So yeah, very, very, you know, we knew that they were going to do stuff like that anyway. They were going to take websites down. Um, and we kind of know their plan as well. If you don't know the plan, well, basically what they're going to do is they're going to shut down the internet. They're going to blame it on some hackers. And when the internet comes on, you're going to need biometrics to log in. So, and maybe they'll they'll probably use vaccination jab passports as an excuse. Use that as an excuse to bring in the jab passports and biometrics. So you have to log in on everything. Everything you go on the internet is biometrics. Um, Very, very weird future we're going into. Very strange things have been happening around me. I'm just observing it at the moment. I'm just watching some weird stuff. I watched our supposed prime minister, our fake prime minister, um, De Pfeffel, Alexander Boris De Pfeffel Johnson, his real name. If that is his real name, if that's just even his stage name again, and Boris Johnson's just for short. But yeah, he's coming up with weird stuff at the moment. He's saying like some really strange stuff. He's using that "build back better" phrase, but he's doing it in such a weird way because like he's he's saying stuff weird, like he's sat at a table with a camera and he's eating some fish and chips and he's saying really cheesy jokes like "build back batter," batter from the chips is like "build back batter," and then he's at a bakery and he's saying stuff like "build back baker." And then build back butter because he's got some butter and bread or whatever. And then what's the other one? Oh yeah, his speech, one of his speeches, he was saying something like about the beavers coming back to the UK. And then next thing you know, he's using that fucking New World Order, Great Reset, World Economic Forum slogan, "Build Back Better." And all these jokes he's saying, and he comes up and says fucking stuff like "Build Back Beaver." It's just ridiculous. It's weird. It's like what? I find it very strange as well. Look, I've been looking at that Black Mirror episode, Waldo. There's an episode in Black Mirror called Waldo. When you look at the creator of Black Mirror created that episode based on around Boris Johnson, and that was before he was Prime Minister. That was when he was the Mayor of London. and he based it on that. He based this Waldo, this cartoon character, becoming basically the leader of the world eventually, and he based it on Boris Johnson. And that happened before he became prime minister, and it was supposed to represent his cartoon-like character, which kind of what he is, same as Donald Trump. You know, it's all planned out. It's planned to be like that. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. They're taking the piss. They take the piss out of everyone. They take the piss out of how stupid people are because they do it all the time. They make things so obvious, and they do it deliberately to try and see how stupid people really are. It's like, for example, when the first person that had the jab in the UK, or was it the world, or the first AstraZeneca's jab was named William Shakespeare from Warwickshire, which is the same county that the original William Shakespeare was from. The same guy that said the world's a stage and the men and women are merely players. Yeah, that guy. It was this exact same guy. Exactly. He had the exact same name. This guy that had the first job in the UK had the exact same name, William Shakespeare, and was from the exact same county, Warwickshire, as the original William Shakespeare was from, the one that quoted the world's a stage. And then you have Matt Hancock, or whatever you want to call him, many other names. if that's even his real name again, or is he a deep fake or what is? I've questioned it as well. I've questioned whether some of these politicians are even real. Some of them might even be deep fakes altogether, and they don't actually exist. But yeah, he's coming out pissing himself laughing on fucking, what's it called, that show, Good Morning Britain. That's it. He's pissing himself laughing. Well, you've got William Shakespeare in the headlines saying he's had his first job from Warwickshire. It's just a joke. They take the piss out of everyone, and people still can't see it. They make it obvious. You even got mainstream media news who's coming out and going against the job now, yet people still fucking want to take it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the world we live in. Hello, Sonja White. Don't know who you are. Don't know have you come on before? I don't think you probably commented actually, haven't you? Don't think you've been on my live, so yeah. So it's just like they tell people they literally they don't tell people, but they make it so obvious. They take the piss. They joke about. They talk about the world being a stage all the time. Boris Johnson at the moment is taking the piss with all these slogans. He's taking the piss. He's using quite a evil slogan from the World Economic Forum. And then you've got idiots commenting saying, oh, this was Joe Biden's original speech. This wasn't Boris Johnson's original speech. And you've got other idiots arguing with him saying, no, this is Boris Johnson. He came up with it first. No, for fuck's sake, these clowns, these idiots, honestly. Some people are so clueless. They buy into this charade, this fake pantomime, this political theatre, because that's what it is. It's a stage. It's all political theatre. It's a distraction. It's there to distract you. It gives everyone this idea, this paradigm that these people are in charge. These politicians, these political figures, these fake political figures, actors, are the real deal, and these are the real leaders that are controlling everything. And that's a load of shit. Hello, all right, Jack. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you? I'm all right. Bit late. Oh, been going on. I think I nearly started this around about midnight. Actually, I think bang on midnight I started it. In the UK, it's bang on. It was bang on midnight when I started. It's 12 o'clock over here. I'm actually outside in the garden. I've got an extension lead, so my laptop's plugged in. But yeah, it's weird fucking world we live in, isn't it? You just can't get how weird it is. You just think of the whole concept of, being lied to. You see it in so many movies, don't you? Deception is when you were a kid, you saw all these movies with all this deception, of, you get these people in a film, in a movie where they do things and they find things out. They find out that the world, that what they've been living is a lie, and they find out that characters aren't what they seem. They tell you in movies, that that's what it is. So they do tell us, and they have to tell us because that's the way the demon works. You have to invite the demon in. That's how it works. They can't just come in. You have to invite them in. It's like with Dracula, you have to. If he asked, "Can I come in?" You have to say yes before he can come in. And it's the same with Satan and the devil. You have to let them in. You have to invite them. And that's why they work with these predictive programming. This is why you've got so much predictive programming in movies, from like 9/11 to COVID to other terror attacks, false flags, and all sorts of stuff, events happening. They put it in and stuff that's about to happen in the future, stuff like 1984 and Brave New World. They put it in, they tell us about it, because in that regard, they're telling us about it. And because no one's speaking out about it and saying no, that they use that in their demented minds as an exception and say, okay, these people are agreeing to this, let's do it. Because that's how their fucking mind works. It's a very clever way of doing it, but it's so inherently, people don't realize how evil, disgusting the people that control this world are. Control everyone's mind, and because they control the system, this unlawful system, which, if you think what illegal is illegal, right? Let's take illegal and let's call it unlawful, because illegal is just the system version. But let's take it out of the system and call it unlawful. This system is unlawful. It's a system that was created to make it seem legit, like you have to go by the laws, and it's just fake laws. We're all trapped in this system because we have to rely on it everything we do. Because what percentage of people can actually grow food? Not many. Yeah, Squirrel Sniper, all right, mate. Today I transitioned to a transvax. I'm still unjabbed, but now I just identify as a jabbed person with a booster jab. Yeah, yeah. If you can get all these people that were saying that they're something they're not, like I'm a what I don't know. Imagine like a 40-year-old man pretending to be a 6-year-old girl, and he identifies as a 6-year-old girl. Well, if that's accepted, yeah, why not? Eh? Let's identify as being jabbed, even though we haven't. We can just say, yeah, we identify with it, and you can't take that rights away from us. Oh, I don't know. No, that's just a joke, though. But yeah, it's such a fucked up system we're in. I don't want to call it world. It's a system that's fucked up. It's a system. It's the people controlling it that's fucked up in the head. And really, to be honest, they've made everyone else fucked up because they believe this system. They believe it's real. They believe that one man has more authority over another man. You look at the kings and queens, right? Look at their generations. Look at the past generations of genocide and how many people they killed. Look at the royal family. Look at where it stems to. Murderers, killers. That's how they got in power, because they threatened people. And I see it in a more lighter view, as like you've got a group of, I've said this in a few videos, you've got a group of school children. They've never met before. They meet up and they form a friendship group. And there's like, they're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then you've got one kid in the group that decides what they're going to do because he has the idea. So all the other kids go along with it. And because he has the ideas and he likes leading this group, he continues to lead this group, and these kids accept it. They accept that he's the new leader of this friendship group, even though it isn't official outside of this group. It's only official in the group. That these kids believe that this one kid is in charge of that friendship group. But outside that friendship group, he just seems like a bossy cunt that you just won't listen to because you're not in that friendship group. But these people in this friendship group have accepted it now. It's like, have you ever seen a TV show called Recess? There's a kids' TV show called Recess. I used to watch it when I was a kid. It's called Recess. And it's about a group of 6 friends. It's a TV show, cartoon. Group of 6 friends. And there's one kid called TJ. And he's the leader of the group. Yeah, he's the official leader of that group because the people in that group have accepted that. And it's just the same in society. Legalese is just in the human mind. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's like a border between countries. It's like, you could have the only reason the borders exist is because it's been created in the human mind, and they've made it as real as possible by building a wall or something. But you take that wall down, and you have an animal that crosses, that just goes over some grass, and that border is invisible to them. It doesn't exist. They don't know they're in England or Scotland. This is just labels that we give things. So it's like, it's just, yeah, they've divided everyone. They've divided everything, and the reason why they've created this division, they've created all these nations, because I think that's what it is. You've got a criminal cabal basically infiltrated in governments and nations all over the world, and they pretend like they go against each other. So we could point the blame at another country, and then they point the blame at another country rather than pointing at the system and the corrupt cabal that's controlling it. They divide everyone, and then they blame the other group rather than the system, and that's how it works. That's how I see it as work. That's how I see it anyway. So it's such a fucked up. I see straight through all this bullshit, and I mean, I don't think people are like ready. I don't know. If we were to get rid of the system, I think I've looked into it quite a bit, and because people rely on the system so much, if the system just went away, a lot of people wouldn't be able to like survive on their own because they don't know how to. It's like, I think, I don't know, what I would have in place is probably like I don't know, education system or something that just teaches people how to survive. Because the thing is, what kids taught in school these days: maths, English, all the basic stuff you need just to get a job and be in the slave system. Basically, you've got to work to be able to eat. You've got to work to earn some paper that you have to give in order to have food, if that makes sense, which is the money system, which is all going digital, of course. But yeah, I just thought I'd use that as an example. Like, it's the system is created there, and they give you everything you want and need. So you rely on it, and you rely on it so much that they control you. They control everything about you. They control the money system, so they control everyone else. And because everyone needs money to survive these days, you need money to be able to pay for food and drinks. You have to work in the system, and it's a slave system. So you're taught at school. You're not taught how to grow your own food and be sustainable and produce your own energy sources and all this stuff. You're not taught anything like that, and you're not taught about how to be in the natural world, and you're probably not even taught to the creator or God himself. You're taught away from that. You're taught about science, technology, and all this occult stuff that they've brought into this world and the school system. You're taught how to be a slave, basically. That's it. You're taught maths, English, science, history, a false history, his story. It's not history. It's his story. It's his story. It's not my story. So I don't know. It's true. It's bullshit. It could be bullshit. It's just a story at the end of the day. And interesting, right? The world's a stage. We're told that the world's like a movie. The world's a stage. It's big political theatre, and it's a story. And you've got his story. So many of these stories coming together as his story, right? It's weird, isn't it? When you break stuff down like that, so much. It goes so deep. All this materialistic world is a fake world, and they've built it around us, so the blind us. Have basically covered our eyes in wool and said, look, this is the real world, when actually it's a fake world that they've created for us. So we don't know what the actual real world is. We don't know what the natural real world is. So if the whole system was to break down, a lot of people wouldn't be able to survive because they wouldn't know how to. So I don't know, if it was me that was in charge of doing things, how I would do it is, I don't know, really. Would you have to create a system? I don't know what you guys think. Would you have to create a system where you have to try and educate people first before they can self-govern themselves? How would you guys do it? I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Who have we got here so far? We've got Squirrel Sniper. Here we go. Hold on. I reckon that they are shit scared. Only about 40 of the people I personally know have had that's quite a lot in it. 40 the people I personally, that's quite a lot. 40. I know a few people that I'll tell you something interesting in a minute. Hold on, I'll just read the comments and I'll tell you something because I've got a link. Camera-based chaos. So, 40%. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm 25, I'm nearly 26. All right, bright mate. You're always on. He's always on here. They've got us running around like hamsters on a wheel just to satisfy their greed, whilst we struggle just to survive. It's utterly ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. They have a lot of them haven't had the job. Well, I don't think they have. I don't know. Um, they take the piss so much, even from Matt Hancock's staged affair, which I believe was a deep fake. You saw when you look at the video and you look where his hand was, he had an extra hand. I tried to point out to people, it was so obvious it was a deep fake. I screenshotted it and put it on my community post. It was just a complete utter deep fake. It was a CGI. All of it was CGI, and it was just a distraction. And they take the piss. They absolutely take the piss. They show us in the mainstream media that politicians don't social distance, don't wear masks, and everything. Yet people still watch that and think, oh, okay, I've still got to abide by the rule. This is how blind people are. I don't get why people can't see it, and it does make me question, like, because some of them are supposed to be clever, some of them are supposed to, which I thought was smart, when actually really clever, supposed to be really clever anyway, because they know about like science and stuff. Like my auntie's friend's a doctor. Yeah, I just don't get it, and it just makes me wonder sometimes. Are they pretending like they're asleep and they actually know, but they're not allowed to say anything? And I think, of course, money talks these days. You pay people certain amounts of money, and if they're in any of these secret societies and they're under oath not to mention a word, then and in penalty of death, if it's that serious, a lot of people are going to chicken out and say, "Okay, hold on, I'm not going to say anything. I'm too chicken to say anything." So you got to ask. You always got to ask what's really going on. And every day comes by and a new event happens or something. I see something in the news. I'm thinking, fucking hell! Everything that's happening now is really that we've been saying is starting to happen. And sometimes it's happening, and it's just making me scratch my head and thinking, what's really going on here? Like, what is the end game? The absolute end game to all this. What is it? Like, are we everything that the internet provides to us and the research and all the documents that we see? What if that's all fabricated? That's all just there for us. That's just information that they allow for us to see. But the real information is so hidden that no one can see it unless you're part of these clubs. I don't know. We don't really know what's really going on. We have an idea of what's going on. We know it's not good. We know it's fucking inherently very, very, very evil. I'm sorry about language. I need to stop swearing because they call them curse words for a reason, don't they? So I do need to stop swearing. But yeah, it's really weird world we're going into. I can feel it now. 2022 is going to be a very strange year. I think next year is going to really get really, really weird. It's going to be interesting because it could get really, really ugly, which I think it'll get really, really ugly before it gets better. If it does get better, or it could get really, 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 really be really on our side, and it could be absolutely amazing. Which I'm hoping, but from what I'm seeing so far, it's very strange. I find it very fishy that there is some mainstream media news outlets coming out and exposing some of this, and I don't know why. What is their agenda behind it? You've got some mainstream medias like Sky News going against the jab, and I'm thinking, what's all that about? Where are they getting people? But then they're going as well to talk about the right and the left again, the left right narrative. Or weird because they seem like very right wing, and then of course You know, they get all, and a lot of people that are I mean, left people in the left wing, you know, people that are left or liberal or whatever, and they're completely asleep. You know, they believe in Black Lives Matter and all this bullshit, and then you've got what's it, Extinction Rebellion. You know, they're never going to wake up if they're not controlled. Some of them probably already know what's going on and they're controlled. They're disgusting. If you know what's going on and you're doing all this, you're disgusting. But the people that the left are not going to wake up, but some of the people that kind of know the truth and they're waking up and realizing what's going on, and they have realized what's going on for a while. But watch these alternative news, like these right wing alternative news that are going against the jab, going against the restrictions, you know, and all this, that, and the other. And it's like they're dragging them into somewhere, they're taking them somewhere into believing that someone like Donald Trump's coming to save him or whatever. Because he's not coming to save you. As much as I'd like to think there would be a politician that would come to save us all and stop all this, he's not doing it. He would have done it a long time ago if he was. No, he's part of it as well. He's just playing his part. He's getting people to trust him. He's getting people that are questioning all this narrative to trust him, so he can lead them back into political trust. Trust the government. Don't trust any fucking government. Don't trust the mainstream media at all. They're not gonna tell the truth. They have a narrative. You've got yourself. The best you can do really is, if you know what's going on, you know it's a hoax, you know it's a scam, you know it's a farce, you know it's evil what they're doing, you know it's about depopulation, you know it's about a one world government, it's about control, it's about controlling people's lives, controlling people's minds, you know, and we're going into a very technocratic dictatorship, which is what we're going into, kind of like a Black Mirror episode, Utopia episode, or Brave New World, or 1984 type style. It's like all them combined, and it's so inherently evil what they're doing, and you can see it. And when you see it, it's, you know, your eyes are what, you can't go back to sleep. When you realise that the government structure and the celebrity structure even is there as a backdrop. So you only see that structure and this material world, but there's so much more beyond that they won't that it's never going to be seen. And once you realise that the celebrity structure and the political structure is all a charade, it's all fake, it's all acting, it's all stage, it's all there to keep you distracted while the real powers are doing their thing behind the scenes, you're never going to get to see the scene because you believe that it goes as far as the kings and the queens and the presidents and prime ministers. You believe they're the ones that are right at the top. And once you believe the system's real, you believe that voting counts, you believe that events are just random. Events are not random. Events are planned centuries before they actually happen, even. And once you realise all that, and you realise that even history is a lie, you start to question everything else. You start to question, really, reality is a lie. How much of what we see around us is a lie? You know, it's blinding us from what this real world actually is. What is this real world? Well, you look at what they show us around the world with, for example, right, the internet. You cannot see the internet, right? You cannot see the internet unless you look at a screen. You look around you, around this world, and you look at the trees and the hills. You don't see all these invisible connections or whatever going, and wireless connections going across from one computer to another or another phone to another phone, and they take it around with you. It's invisible. So if you were to never ever see those screens and you were to isolate someone, or you were isolated from those screens, you wouldn't even know the internet exists. But it is all around you, but you just can't see it. And I think that's what they're doing with everything else, with other things. And I think there's things that's in the sky and probably underground as well, of course, definitely underground with all the tunnels that we don't even know exists, but they have it. It's like, some people call me crazy for this, but it's like frigging hell. I hate using the word hell, but it's like black magic. It's like, come on, you know, you have to link all the stuff together, like the news and broadcasting the news. You know, casting. It's broadcasting the news. It's broadcasting spells. Spells are words, aren't there? You spell a word out, and that's what they show you on a screen. They've got all that writing going across the screen while they're telling you the news. They're broadcasting the news to you. They're casting a spell to you, and it's changing your behaviour. And that's exactly what we've seen. What's going on in the past 2 years, nearly. So yeah, that in my eyes, that's casting a spell. And we don't really know what black magic is. We don't know. It could be. I think mind control is part of the black magic narrative. And you look at witchcraft. You search YouTube. Go on YouTube and search sigil magic. There's loads of people talking about sigil magic. So it is out in the open, but of course you have to search it. They're not going to show you it on YouTube as a recommendation. You have to actually search it word for word. Sigil magic. And when you look at some of the circuit boards, which is one of my videos coming up, and you look at some of the circuit boards and the motherboards and the chips inside your phone, and you overlap some of them with the sigil signs, and they overlap each other. And when you look into the scrying mirrors, which is SC, search it now on the internet if you have SCRYING, scrying, and see what it means. It's a legend about people looking into a black mirror and it tells them the future. It gives off light and tells them the future. And this is an old legend. And it kind of is similar to, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, and it tells them and it gives them information. Bones. That's what they are. That's how I see it. Anyway, that's a connection I've got. So it's a crazy world, guys. We're in a time. We're at a time now where it's brutal. It's brutal, and it's absolutely vital that we really are at the very, very right. We've got to go through a hole. Right, think of a hole. We've got to get through this hole, and it's getting a window of opportunity. Let's call it window of opportunity. We've got to go through this window of opportunity, but it's getting smaller and smaller day by day now, and it's getting very, very small. It's getting to the point where we're going to have to now pretty much squeeze through it. That's how small the window of opportunity is, because although it seems like the system's breaking down, which the system is breaking down, but we don't want it breaking down on their terms where they have to bring something else much worse up. They destroy this system and bring something, which is what the Great Reset is. So I think in some ways they do that. And I think that's maybe what Sky News and all these others, Sky News Australia and all these some of these other alternative medias, like what's the other one, Talk Radio, which I think is full of shit anyway, definitely. And even stuff like UK Cult News, it's like it's alternative media, but they want to expose the system, but they want to expose it in their way so they can. And I think, and that's part of their Great Reset agenda, so they can bring their new system in. Where am I? Oh, Roger, you all right, mate? If Shakespeare was alive today, he would be the new world leader. Yeah, I mean, what even Shakespeare was. I mean, what history is. What they tell you could. They control the internet, so they could bake up this whole story altogether on the internet, create a Wikipedia page with a fake history, a fake story of something that never happened, and they just say it did. It happened this day. They could do that. They could have done that before they did the internet. Oh, let's create this fake story that happened in, I don't know, in Ukraine, even though it's a load of bullshit, but people accept it as it actually happened, even though it probably didn't. So they control that, the information of that, so you don't know what's true and what's not. For all we know, William Shakespeare could be a myth. We don't know. I don't know. It probably isn't, but it probably is. Who knows? Who knows? Some of these figures that we're taught in history are actually real. Like we know a lot of them. We already know in this present day and age that all the political leaders and a lot of the celebrities are not who they say they are. They're just actors. They're playing their part to make people believe that they are who they say they are. Boris Johnson is probably not even his real name. He's just an actor. Some of these people as well. It's like the Queen. I've actually had this conversation. I think it was with Lee or someone else a while back, saying about how the Queen is she a real? Is she even real? It's like, or is it just multiple people playing a part of the Queen? Like, and I question if it's even a mask. The Queen, what this person or whatever, this woman or man or whatever is wearing is a mask, and it's not real. It's not actually there. And I do wonder, and you've seen it. There's video evidence of that. Anthony Fauci. There's a video footage of him wearing a mask. There's another one of Biden apparently wearing a mask now. So who are these things? Are the androids? Are the robots? Are they just other people putting these masks on to make them? And then when they put these masks on, these masks look like a real face, and people believe that it's a real face. And you know, it does make me wonder. This world is so deceitful. It's like the Queen, and it's made me question how many people have played the Queen character throughout her life, throughout this character's life. And it's like Prince Philip. Was that a mask? Who knows, right? Maybe Prince Philip didn't exist. He just wore a mask everywhere. You know, you look at how they can make these deep fakes. They can make these masks, and it can make them look so real as well. And they've even done where they've shown us where they can actually make real skin, make it feel like real skin as well, and that's a mask. That's where we're at. And maybe they've had that technology or whatever for longer than they've reported it. And there's some loads of crazy stuff on the World Economic Forum's coming out. I'm thinking, what? You've really just come up with this now? Yeah, bullshit. What a load of shit. You know, and you got a question as well, other things like the population. It's like we're told that in our generation lifetime, the population went from 1 billion to 8 billion just like that in our lifetime. Of all the generations in the hundreds and hundreds of years, even thousands of years that we've been around for, just in this short, tiny period of time where we're alive, we're told that the population's gone from 1.2 billion to 7 billion, 8 billion nearly. Really? And it makes me wonder, do they have these? What happens? You know, do they reset the population and then it grows again really fast, and they've got to reset it, kill a lot of people, and then it grows really fast again, and they've got to keep doing that. And maybe that's, I don't know. Who knows? Very strange world we live in. I have so many questions. You know, I don't know. I have all these questions about it. Could be anything. What about two chickens, Jack? Mate, I don't know what you mean by that. Love conquers. All truth is, people will get ugly when they get hungry. Oh yeah, yeah. Thing is, we can see the supply chain breaking down now, and I think what they do as well sometimes they tease us. They tease us with, uh, with stuff like, oh, there's fuel shortages and all this, and then we're going to think that it's going to continue like that, and then they will say, oh, okay, next week the fuel's back again. You know, there's all the petrol stations have been pumped up. So and then it's like, oh, okay. So they tease us and they use scare tactics like tease us with scare mongering stuff that won't actually happen just yet, but may happen in the future. So it's like we've seen so far. We've seen Facebook going down. People thought, oh, this is it. This is going to be the cyber attack. And then we had the fuel shortages in the UK. And then we thought, this is it. This is going to be the breakdown of the fuel shortages. We're not going to be able to drive next week. And it's not the case. These are just beta tests. They're getting us ready. They're getting us, what's the word? Familiar with it happening, like they do in movies. And that's another part of the predictive program in us, getting us familiar so we accept it. That's how they work. These people know the fucking mind. They know the human mind. I know they do, but they're not fooling me. I know I'm being fooled, and once you know you're being fooled, no one can fool you. I've been hungry. Yeah, see, there's hungry, and then there's like really hungry. Tell my so-called educating neighbours, you seem nice now, but don't knock on my door when you're hungry. Yeah, yeah. You don't know what people are like when they're hungry. You don't know what these jabs have done to people. You don't know how it's going to affect people. You know, we've seen all sorts of weird stuff. Have you heard about these pandemic babies, guys? Any of you guys heard about these pandemic babies? There's videos now going around of babies been born with completely black eyes, or near the whole eye is black. Now I know that babies, when they're born, naturally sometimes their pupils are a lot bigger, but some of these babies have eyes that are completely black. There's no white in them at all, and they act different as well. And there's people now coming out and saying there's all sorts of stuff happening, but we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be really interesting in the next year. See what these jobs really do. You know, we've got front row seats, guys. So yeah, grate your popcorn. As evil and horrible as it's going to be, and it's going to be pretty drastic because so many people have taken these now. But we're going to see it. We're going to see, and I think the world's exposing itself to what it really is, or the system, not the world, the system. We can blame the world, but it's not the world. It's the system that's in this world that's controlling the world, controlling everything around it, the land, everything, or making people believe that. Which I suppose because people believe it, they actually do. Yeah, we're in a really interesting time. You know, it's like of all the times we could be alive, it's now, isn't it? You know. But then again, has this all happened before? Have they done this all before? You know, it runs so smoothly with them as well. You know, it's a lot of the events they do, it runs so smoothly. I mean, we're told that it's planned very well, it's been advanced and everything. Maybe that's the case, but it does make you wonder, has this all happened before? You know, do they recycle everything that they give us, the technology, the food, everything? You know, when we're told that a new invention has come or a new car or whatever, you know, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they do these resets where it's a different type of world altogether. Maybe they do a reset and then another world they create another world that's a completely different world to the one that was beforehand. You know, because you've got to question all this stuff because history does not make sense. Nothing makes sense. And when you look at the population trends throughout the years, how it's like, oh, we're told that, you know, in 1500, 1600, 1700s, it barely grew. And then suddenly in our lifetime, it's like quadrupled or whatever, the population. Oh, it just doesn't make sense to me. Uh, so, yeah. Most people don't even know what hunger is. No, no. I don't even want to, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't like to even imagine what some people have to go through. Yeah, you know, you've been there. I love those spanners. I don't know what you mean by that. And don't forget, they always use someone doing sign language, saying we are deaf and dumb. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I love you in sign language is the devil's horns, which is you put your index finger and your pinky finger up and you keep your two middle fingers and your thumb down and you create it's like the same one as rock and roll, isn't it, really? We're told it's rock and roll and then we're told that it means like love you in sign language, but it's the devil horn. You know, and they do all these symbologies, they mix things up. It's like the swastika. The swastika originally was from India, and what they did is now it's originally the swastika was to do with totally different to what it actually is represented to be now, which is Nazi Germany and Hitler and all that. And they twist things. It's like the peace sign. The peace sign. Do you know what the peace sign is? You know, do you know what it is? They used it in when the Paris shooting thing happened or the false flag. When that happened, and everyone was saying stuff like "Pray for Paris." This was back in 2016, 2015. That was when I started to realise what was going on, and that's what got me going down this route because it just didn't make any sense. It was why would a lot of things from the phone, all sorts of stuff? I have to do a video on it at some point. I have to do a video on it. It was an old thing that happened, but I'll have to do a video on it. But people were saying pray for Paris and they're using the peace sign. And and ever since people have just been using this peace sign, thinking it means peace, and it's like it doesn't. What this is a broken cross. It's a broken cross. It's completely antichrist. These people are antichrist. They hate Christ. Whatever you think about, if you believe in Jesus or not, these people are evil. They're against all that. They hate anything to do with God, whatever you perceive as God. And it's like witchcraft is an upside down cross. I mirrored a video on it ages ago showing it showed a woman showing which is an old video now, but it showed the woman monster, it's showing the Monster Energy drink, which says unleash the beast, and you've got 666 in Roman numerals on it, and then you've got the upside down cross, and when you got the cross on it, but when you drink it, it turns upside down. And it's witchcraft, isn't it? And you look at some of the ingredients that they put in some of these energy drinks as well. It does change people's behavior. It makes people energetic. It makes people hyperactive. It changes people's behavior. They can't sleep. They get agitated. Stuff like that. So yeah, it's weird. It's another one as well. I was watching a little bit of Boris Johnson's speech the other day. I like to mose around. One thing he did say was he did mention the word potions. It's like these potions in his weird fucking accent. Who talks like that? Have you ever met any? Have you ever come across anyone that talks like him? Honestly, talk about it being an act, right? No one talks like that. No one in real life would talk like that. So to me, that is staged. God is good. Yeah, God is good. Good God. Evil. Devil. Devil is, you put D there. Daughter the evil. Daughter evil is basically devil, in it? D as door. Two evil. D devil. And then good, yeah, is basically similar to God. Interesting. Um, Paul O'Neill's here. Why? I've got a question, Paul. Why? Are you is Suzanne your wife? Because I think you're both from Ireland, are you? Love conquers all. Yeah, love's stronger than hate. They use hate. Hate is powerful, but love's stronger. The thing with hate is they use mind control. The lady I'm staying with right now is completely programmed. She told me the start. I've lived with people that are programmed. You just can't get through to them. It makes you wonder sometimes. I even show them some of the stuff I've seen that should wake them up, and it doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense because these people are supposed to be clever, switched on, but they're not. Um, she's completely programmed. She told me the story of the Typhoid Mary. Boy, did that record of utter propaganda. I don't know much about that. What's happening now is history is in the making, will go down as a point in time that will be forever fought in history. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, if they it depends on who wins, who get if the people of this world that love this world and this natural world, this natural law, and know what the system is, get their way, then yeah, it will go down in history as one of the most truest events that's ever happened because we get to find out the truth and we get to tell the truth as well, and it won't be completely fabricated like history has been. But if they get their way, then it's going to be completely even more fucked up. I don't know. Some of these peak kids that have now been born to people that have been jabbed. You don't know what how how programmed they're going to be, even their intelligence. You don't know if they're just going to fall for everything now. And yeah, uh, Matthias, you're right there. Fuck the system, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not the police, fuck the system altogether. I feel like this life happens over and over again. Yeah. I don't know what this world is. It's like I don't know why they do what they do. Is there's there must be something. It's like who really is in power is I don't even think is human. If I'm honest, I really don't. I don't think how can a man and a woman without any black magic or anything create all this and have this much power? A small minority of people, really. So what's really going on here is my question. You know, it could go deep down the rabbit hole and say that it's Nephilim creatures and and lizards and all that stuff, like what David Icke talks about. You know, saying that they're real, but I don't trust David Icke. But really, when you look into it, what everything that's going on, how can a man and a woman just naturally, from everything that we're brought up into, to believe, in how we brought up in school, and you think of how we were before we woke up and realized what's going on, right, in a deep sleep. You think about how can average man and woman create all this society and system around us and this have this much power and influence, a small amount of people. How did the king and queen and the royal families manage to overpower everyone else? You've got to ask these questions. What really are they? What are these people? Who or what are we dealing with it? I don't know. I really don't know. The world is not what we seem. It is a complete lie. Everything's a lie. Everything that we've ever been told, we've been deceived so much that we need to really just start over again and forget about this world and realize that not forget about it, but just start over again as we know nothing at all and try and see if we can grab puzzles together and try to work out what's going on. But we don't have the freedom to do that at the moment. First, we need the freedom to do that. We don't have the freedom to find the truth. Till we get it right. Cool stream. I like to hear your opinions. Thanks, mate. Yeah. I'm feeding the internet my opinions, my feed. They get to know what I'm thinking, so they know how my mind works. YouTube knows how my mind works. I don't give a fuck. I say what I say. That's it. Also, Devil Horns is metal rock culture. It is, yeah, it is. It's in a lot of stuff now. You see a lot when you look on Instagram and you look at some of the people even. A lot of people do it without knowing. They do this stuff now. It's quite in the open. Doing the devil horns, closing one eye, even sticking your tongue out. People just do that. They do that as a selfie and think it's nothing really. It's just like a cool little selfie, but they don't really know what it is. So many people do it. I'm convinced that half the society are NPCs, non-player. Yeah, soulless created by them. I do wonder sometimes. NPCs, yeah, they definitely are. Some of these people, they're like robots, aren't they? They don't think for themselves. Just every trend that comes up, they just go for it. They just copy what everyone else does, say what everyone else says, and it's like it's just a constant. It's predictable what they say and what they share. It's like I've got people on Facebook. I know what they're going to share. When a news story comes out, I know they're going to share it, and I know what their opinion is going to be because it's so predictable. What else am I going to say? Yeah, it's like these trends and everything. Trends. When you have trends, can you remember all these trends that you had? Ice bucket challenge. Who remembers the ice bucket challenge on Facebook? This was way back. This was probably 2012, 2013, maybe even I don't know, around about then. And they had the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and people were going around who were nominating like 3 or 4 people, and they were throwing buckets of ice over their head. Right? They were doing that. and you had Bill Gates doing it, and you had Mark Zuckerberg doing it. That in itself is a like a now is a wake up call and a hold on a minute, this isn't right. This is fishy. This is really sketchy. This is this doesn't feel right, and it isn't, because these trends are there to see how people follow trends and show how people are sheep and they follow the herd, and that's what the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was. It was a psyop. It was a psychological operation. I figured it out. It's a psychological operation because everyone was doing the same thing. They were throwing ice water over their head and nominating 4 people, and then 4 other people would do it, and those 4 people would do it, and so on. And I tell you now, most people in my friend list did it. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't in the end because I thought it was getting ridiculous. Everyone was just doing it. And there's other trends as well. You know, people say, "Oh, watch this show because everyone else is watching. I want to watch it." Or buy this Xbox game because everyone else is buying it. These are psyops. And this is how they get people to get to find out how the human mind works. The internet is really learning from us all every day, isn't it? Because we're feeding it information about us and how we work, and they have that information now. But you know, I suppose it is what it is. The internet. You know, in 2 years' time, I'm talking now. I'm going to have a very, very low social credit score because of everything I've ever posted. I might not even be able to get on the internet. But I'm not going to use the biometrics. You know, I think this is the last opportunity we have, guys. I really do. I really do. We're already in October 2021 now, and I watched a video. I think it was 42, and this was back in 2000. And it was a video YouTube channel called 42, and this was back in 2018, 2017. This video, and it did mention that technology is going to rapidly change in 2021. Is going to be the year of rapid change, according to some scientists and some predictors because of how things are going out. Apparently, all kinds of things are going to come out. All kinds of gadgets, AI, and smart devices are going to come out more so than ever before in the whole time of existence. So yeah, and we're in that year now. We're in October, which is the October surprise. So it'll be quite interesting to see how this month plays out this year, and November and December, and then we're going to 2022. But yeah, I think things are going to get really weird in the next few months, few years. Yeah, well, yeah, years as well, but months definitely. Now, they're teasing us with cyber attacks. They're teasing us. We know they're going to do it. They've done an exercise on it. They're going to do it at some point. I just don't know when. No, you can predict things, but you can predict the dates of things. And just because I don't have, just because people predict things on that date and it doesn't happen, doesn't mean it's still not going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. It's just we don't know when it's going to happen. They could do a cyber attack tomorrow. They could do it next week. They could do it in November. They could do it in December. They could do it next year. They could do it 2023. They could do it in 2028, even for all we know. You know, they might even have a whole year where nothing happens at all, and then they get people to believe, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory, nothing happens. Then suddenly, the year after that, something really big happens. You know, we don't know when all these people are really going to start dying. You know, are going to start dropping dead. It could be any time between now and 2030. Wow, probably 2025 now. But yeah, we've got to get through these few years at least. You've got to be prepared because I think their aim now is to get everyone jabbed, or as many people they can jabbed, and then they're going to make it very hard for people. This is the truth, guys. I'm sorry I'll have to tell you this, but it's the truth. They're going to make it very hard for people like us because we're not going to be able to. They're going to make it hard for us because the idiots out there that believe all this, you know, all this, it is what it is. That all these idiots are going to try and force it on us, and they're going to say, "Oh, it's because of you," and they're going to blame us, aren't they? So that's the reality. We're at. That's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. It's. I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's true. They're going to make it very hard for us. to the point where they're going to try and make it, but you've got to stand your ground. You've got to realize you can't give over to them, no matter how much they push you. You can't. They're bullies. They're bullies. That's what they are. They're bullying us. You know. And it's basically them in a much more disturbing way saying, "Give me your lunch money. Give me your lunch money now. I'm going to make it very hard for you. Give me your lunch money." And they're pushing us and pushing us. And they're going to push us continuously, but we've got to keep saying no. There's more of us than them. The only problem is most of us are just are asleep and won't fight back. And even some of the people that realise what's going on are too scared to. I get it. I get it can be, it's quite scary. We don't know who we're dealing with. We don't know what we're up against. We have to be careful. Um, God, it's weird actually, isn't it? 12 people are watching at the moment. 12 people. And it's like you only feel it doesn't. If 12 people were in the same room as me now, these 12 people, you 12 people that are watching me now, if you were in a room with me, I would be way more nervous than 12 people watching me virtually because it would be totally different experience, wouldn't it? Talking to 12 people, well on average, some of them are probably bots. About 200, between 150 to 200 or more, so watch my videos on average, right? So I just can't imagine me talking like I am now in front of 150 to 200 odd people. I just can't imagine it. I think I would stutter a lot. I wouldn't know what to say because I'll be too nervous. I do get stage fright. When I actually used to try and when I was at school, when it was our turn, our class to do an assembly, we used to do these. We used to do these. Not the what do you call them? These. When you do an assembly and your class is there to talk about a topic. Well, I used to avoid doing them as much as possible. Sometimes I can get out of them, but a lot of the time I did manage to because I said no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can I please get off? As long as I let them know in advance that they can't force me to, and I was allowed to I was allowed to stay off when they were doing the assemblies when it was my class at school doing the assembly because I couldn't go on stage and talk in front of crowds of people. I was too scared. uh, I mean, I've got a bit better when I'm older. When I've been older now, got better. But still, even if it's 150, 200 people, 150, 200 people are really focusing on you. And it's like, oh, anything could happen. I could stutter, I could make a fool of myself. And yeah, it's totally different to being on the internet now, having an audience virtually because you can't see the 150 to 200 faces watching you. Well, you're not really watching me, you're just listening to me, aren't you? You're not watching me, you're watching my videos, but even then, it's like, thinking about it now, it's quite, just feel a little bit daunting actually. But then, really, how many of those 150, 200 people are bots? YouTube bots. I don't get many of them anymore, actually. I think a lot of them have gone, which is good. I don't really get many YouTube bots anymore. I used to get loads last year. I think I don't really get any now. I used to get all of them just commenting random stuff. As soon as the video was uploaded, that's it. I had like 3 or 4 random bots posting links in. So I did have this block. I did have this YouTube when I had my computer or when I was using my old computer. I had a YouTube block thing, well, like a comment block thing that blocked all spam comments. But then some people were complaining that I wasn't seeing their comments and their comments weren't showing up, which still that happens. But I don't have my computer anymore, so I can't do that. But I don't really. I get 1 or 2 occasionally, but I don't really get many bots now. Uh, But yeah, I don't know how long the way that the internet is now. How long is it going to be before? I mean, technically, the internet's not on our side at all, but with the information that we can do, we can still talk to each other, and we can still, you can still access information at a limited capacity, but you can still um, you control it. You still look at the information. But how long is it before the biometric system comes in? Because once they do this cyber attack, that's it. And I think that this is what they're going to use it for, to bring in this biometric system where you have to have ID to log in. Because they'll blame it on hackers, saying, "Oh, we can't have hackers again doing a cyber attack. You need these biometrics to log in." How long before that happens? We'll have to wait and see, guys. But yeah, I thought I'll just come and do a live tonight. And yeah, I'm going to head off soon. But yeah, thanks for coming on anyway. Thanks for everyone that comes on. Lynn, Matthias, I don't even know if you're saying. Where are you from, Matthias? Where are you from? It's an interesting name. I like it. Like Paul, Bright, Tracy's here, right? Tracy. I wonder how many people there are that are outer space is a total, that aware that outer space is a total lie. Yeah, yeah. Now I know I can see things much clearer. Yeah, once you see things clearer, there's no way you get. It's like I watched TV the other day with my family, and it just can't program me anymore because I see straight through the bullshit. I know it's all lie. It was this game show. I knew it was all scripted. I knew it was all planned out, and I knew they were all just actors. So they couldn't program me. Once you know, you know. You can't be reprogrammed again, in my opinion. It's hard to go back to sleep. But yeah, there's my family thinking it's real. Like I can't even bother to tell them anymore. I've tried to hint at them so much and try and show them stuff. They just don't want to know. Denmark, oh, nice one. Quite a nice country. Denmark. I've never been to Denmark. Norway, I've. Denmark, no, never been there. But it does. When I think of Denmark, I assume it's a very, very nice country. Scandinavia, isn't it? I think it's probably a lot better than living in the UK at the moment. I mean, I don't know. Things will go all right in the UK since lockdown eased, but now suddenly it's gone back. It's got worse. This past couple of weeks has got worse. So yeah, we'll just have to see where they take us next. Probably end up doing a frigging Melbourne style lockdown or something. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll leave it there. Thanks for everyone that's come on. I'll yeah, be uploading videos soon. I've been trying to sort my life out as well. It's I'll get there. All right. Cheers, guys. Take care. Stay strong. Stand your ground, and just listen to yourself. No one has power over you. No one can force you to do anything. If you're doing nothing wrong, which you aren't, if you're not harming anyone, that's what matters. Stay strong, guys. Cheers.